The book of Judges was written by the prophet Samuel, who completed it in about 1100 BCE. Judges covers a period of some 330 years, from about 1450 to approximately 1120 BCE. The book primarily discusses the exploits of the judges, whom Jehovah used to deliver his people from oppression. In chapter 1, we read that the Israelites do not drive out all the pagan inhabitants of the land. Instead, they subject some of them to forced labor. In chapter 2, an angel warns the Israelites that because they have not listened to Jehovah, the remaining people of the land will ensnare them in false worship. In chapters 3 to 16, we see that the angel's words begin to be fulfilled after the death of Joshua and his generation. In an often repeated cycle, the Israelites take up false worship. Jehovah abandons them to their foes. The people cry out for help, and Jehovah raises up judges to deliver them. The 12 judges are Othniel, Ehud, Shamgar, Barak, Gideon, Tola, Jair, Jephthah, Ibzan, Elon, Abdon, and Samson. Did you know? The judges described in this book were men of faith who led and delivered God's people, recognizing Jehovah as the true leader and deliverer. They were not judges in the legal sense of the word. In chapter 3, Judges Othniel and Ehud deliver the Israelites from servitude to the kings of Mesopotamia and Moab. In chapter 4, a prophetess named Deborah sends for a man of faith named Barak. She tells him that Jehovah will grant him victory over Sisera, the chief of the army of Canaanite king Jabin, who is oppressing Israel. Jehovah gives Sisera's entire army into the hands of Barak. Not so much as one man remains. Sisera himself is executed by a woman named Jael. In chapters 6 to 8, Jehovah uses Judge Gideon and just 300 men to take the lead in delivering Israel from Midianite oppression. Chapters 11 and 12 discuss the exploits of Judge Jephthah. With Jehovah's help, he subdues the Ammonites who, along with the Philistines, had oppressed Israel for 18 years. Chapters 13 to 16 describe the exploits of Judge Samson, a Nazirite to whom Jehovah gives extraordinary physical strength. Samson takes the lead in saving Israel out of the hand of the Philistines. The events in chapters 17 to 21 fit an earlier period of time. In chapter 17, a man in Ephraim named Micah, who has a house of gods, hires a young Levite named Jonathan to serve as his priest. Jonathan, however, is not of the priestly family. In chapter 18, hundreds of Danites who are on their way to conquer land for their tribe make a stop at Micah's house. They steal his gods and take Jonathan to be their priest. In chapters 19 and 20, men of the Benjaminite city of Gibeah commit sex crimes against the concubine of a Levite. The Benjaminites fail to hand over the guilty men, so the other tribes war against Benjamin, almost wiping out the tribe. As you read the book of Judges, note the harm that can come to those who leave Jehovah. Observe how merciful God is when His people repent and cry out to Him for help. And see why we can trust Jehovah, our great judge, to deliver us from all our enemies by means of His kingdom.